take a couple breaths and kind of just organize our body, right? So if you're laying down, make sure that your legs aren't kind of off to the side of your hips, but you feel lined up. So feet underneath the knees, knees lined up, coming straight out of your hips. I know sometimes when I get in my chair, I look down and I'm like, oh, my feet are like off to one side. So make sure you're organized. And it's really something that we should do every time we get into our chair, but I don't know if everybody does. And let's see, I want to go to gallery. Hold on one sec. Sorry, I want to go to gallery again. So, all right. So let's just take a couple breaths. You can take your hands and just place them on your thighs. And let's just we can inhale and kind of slide our hands down our thighs, and then exhale, kind of press down into the end of the thighs towards the feet. So we just put some pressure down into the feet, right? Bringing attention into the feet. So we kind just use the breath to kind of anchor the feet. We'll inhale, press down, and exhale, land on the knees. And I kind of wiggle around a little bit. I'll just tell you a lot of times what I kind of feel in my body, and you can look for it. But I feel like some energy and some tingling in my feet, even though I am a complete injury. If you can feel, then great. Feel the bottom of your foot spread out and your toes spread out. Imagine that you can really make your foot wide and long, and feel that weight of the leg bone dropping into the foot. Okay. So we'll come back and just keep that as a little bit of an anchor. And then we're just going to bring our attention into the pelvis. And sometimes I'll talk about the pelvis as a bowl, and the sit bones. You guys know where your sit bones are. Hopefully we're sitting on top of the sit bones there. And sometimes I actually don't have it today, but sometimes I will put a little pad behind me when I'm teaching these seated classes, just to make me be a little more upright. I can't really roll around like that all the time, but it's great to just have an opportunity to change our position. And so we're going to breathe into our pelvic bowl. The sit bones are the base of the bowl, and the top of the hip bones kind of around to the back of the the top of the pelvis is the rim of the bowl. So we're just going to inhale, bring the breath down into that bowl, and then exhale, maybe feel the breath kind of drop and anchor into your sit bones. So sometimes I use the image of pouring water, right? Water just pouring down into that bowl, and feeling the water kind of going into every nook and cranny in the bowl. And then that exhale, you drop into that heavy base of the bowl. That again, we ground our pelvis into our seat. And then next, I want to just we're going to kind of move up the body here, bring our attention into the low back and the belly. So if you want, you can place your hands in your low back area behind you and one hand on your belly. And let's just take a couple breaths here. So we're going to inhale you can inhale in through your nose and exhale out through your nose or out through your mouth, however it best feels to feel, right? So that's what more than anything, I want you to feel, which when we're in pain or when we are paralyzed, we think we can't feel, right? We're told we can't feel. But just again, imagine what it feels like to inhale and feel your low back kind of expand and get wide. And then exhale, imagine you can draw the belly button in. So for some of us, we can do it. And for some of us, we can't. You want to encourage that that idea, you can use your hands. So belly button draws in towards the back of the spine and up. Fully exhale as you do that. So we'll inhale, wide low back, and then exhale, belly button to spine. So with that, I even start to feel like I'm starting to grow taller. Do you guys feel any of that? Good. We want to find length as best we can. So inhaling wide into the low back and exhale, grow taller. Nice. Why don't you guys take one more breath with that? And if you, again, if you have questions, please, you can either wave or unmute yourself. Okay, so we're going to keep that idea there. And then we're going to move up into the rib cage area. And sometimes I'll place my hands around the ribs like this. And this is really nice to do when you're laying down also, Doreen. Or if this is easier, or if you can't get your hands, if you don't have that function, again, you're going to use that imagination. So we're going to inhale and imagine we're widening the rib cage. And then exhale, rib cage draws together, and you can use your hands to squeeze your ribs together. And be aggressive with that squeeze and get all the air out. And you'll start to notice perhaps you engage your core a little bit. When we fully exhale, we can find a deeper place in our core. So play with that. I'd love to know if you guys feel that. So you can wave or give me a thumbs up if you do. Awesome. Good. And if you don't, play with it. And I encourage you to play with this breath work for the next week. Maybe put it in your schedule to do every morning. 5 minutes, right? It's worth it. So let's do a couple more breaths. And I'm just going to give you a couple more kind of things to think about around the rib cage, because this is an important spot. We're going to inhale. You can widen. You can even maybe imagine, sometimes the rib cage in Pilates is described as, we use the term bucket handle breathing. So imagine your ribs are kind of like the handle on a bucket. And so here's the bucket, the edge of the bucket here. You're going to inhale, and the ribs kind of lift up and away. And then as you exhale, they drop down like a bucket handle might. So maybe that image helps some of you guys more to kind of play with the movement of the rib cage. The lungs are like moving the ribs, right? So kind of have that sense of inhaling, lungs fill, and they push the ribs out. And then exhaling, ribs help squeeze all the air out of the lungs. So it's fun. Okay, let's go ahead and I think it's fun anyways. Let's go ahead now and just do some more chest breathing, which a lot of us probably do anyway. So just take a deep breath and feel the chest expand, feel the chest lift. And then exhale. You can do a big sigh. No one can hear you, so make some noise. Inhale. And feel that resonation, perhaps, of that exhale in your body. Make any kind of noise that really you can play with the sound. Ooh. And maybe notice different sounds might help you engage the core also. So inhale one more time with that sound on the exhale. Okay. Next breath, we're going to just inhale, widen across the collarbones, send them out that direction. And exhale, feel the shoulder blades flow down your spine. So inhaling wide, exhaling, shoulder blades flow down. Inhaling wide, exhale, flow down. You can do this laying down just as well. And one more breath. Inhale wide and exhale, flow down. Okay, so we're bringing attention into the core. All of this is, all this breath work is helping wake up the core. So moving kind of up toward the neck and the head position. We're going to do just an inhale and maybe nod. You can think of it as a head nod, or you can think of it as drawing the head back on top of the spine and upwards. And what I do, if I was there, if I was standing or sitting right behind you, I would come and grab kind of the back of your hair there and kind of pull back and up, back and up. So if you had a ponytail, it's going to be pulled kind of back up over the top of your cervical spine and up towards the heavens. And even when I do that to myself, I feel some length in my back. So it's beneficial. But again, if you don't need to do that, you can just, again, use the imagination. Imagine someone's pulling that head back and up, and we want to look for that feeling of stretching the back of the neck. Maybe you'll feel, do you guys feel some lengthening in the back of the neck? Yay, yay. Not everybody's nodding their head, but I'm getting most people. So again, if you have questions and you want me to like go into more detail about that, maybe let me know in some way, like maybe this is it, more, give me that hand signal if you don't want to unmute. Okay, so this is an important piece for us, for those of us sitting in chairs all day, or even if you're working at a computer, right? People end up with this looking at the computer forward head posture, and it's gnarly for us. So let's do a few more little head nod, lengthening the back of the neck. Head nod, and not forgetting, and yeah, your eyes, you really want the eyes kind of out on the horizon. So of course I know you're watching me, but if your computer is down, like mine kind of is, then just lift your eyes up once in a while, right? And we want to keep where our eyes go kind of brings the rest of our posture. So keep that in mind, right? So if our eyes are looking out at the horizon, then they're going to help us stay lifted up as well. All right, so we're going to keep this posture we've sort of established here on top of our sit bones and a little bit of this belly button to spine, not holding it all the time, but when we move, we can kind of engage that. And this, along with this belly button to spine sort of feeling, imagine, and you might have already started to feel it, but not known what to call it, but imagine you have a corset coming around the waist and tightening up. Right, so we got the corset, that kind of includes, does that make sense when I say a corset? So, and basically what the corset is our, one of our deepest abdominal muscles. So it wraps around from the back, it's the transverse abdominis, if you want to look it up, that many times referred to as a TA. And so it wraps around and it kind of comes together here, and it's in between the ribs and the hips. And so we want to imagine this corset coming together, tightening up. So we got our corset, we got our open chest, we have our head on top of our spine, and we're just going to do a couple little shoulder rolls here. So let's roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. We can inhale, forward, up, and exhale, back and down. And really feel those shoulders, the shoulder blades move, right? Let's do one at a time. Right, and then left. And really exaggerate the movement. And you can do it in bed there laying down, Doreen, right? It's just you're gonna have a little limited back and down. Good. And really kind of imagine what it's kind of a little sultry kind of move, or so kind of get into it, right? Really feel the exaggeration of it. Are you alternating? Yeah, you guys are alternating. Good. Let's go the other way. So back and then forward, and back and forward, back up and forward, back up and forward. So as we roll it kind of forward, feel the back muscles stretch, feel the shoulder blade come away from the spine, and you come back and it comes back in and towards the spine and down. Okay, let's come back to center. So we got those shoulders just kind of loosened up a little bit. Let's now, since we've kind of done some controlled sort of movement, let's just shrug up and drop. Shrug and drop. Let them go. Let gravity just take those arms down. Boom. Boom. And then we'll keep them dropped down, and remember we want them back. Just kind of a reminder to keep them down and not hiked up. So with those shoulders back and down, let's keep the ribs and the shoulders square, and just again find that little head nod position and turn and look over the right shoulder. Look as far as you can. Eyeballs straining to look behind you. Good. And then bring the eyes around forward and let your eyes bring your head. And let's look over the other shoulder. So make sure you're in your head nod position. Turn and look over that left shoulder. Looking as far as you can. Strain your eyes to get that as far as you can over that left shoulder and beyond. Good. And then bring the eyes front, and then the eyes bring your head around. We're going to do that again. We're going to add on to it a little bit. So again, we're in that. So we're nice and tall. Good. And you can think of corset engaged. Turn and rotate the head. Good. This time we're going to eyeballs look as far as you can behind you to the right, or whichever side you're on. Good. Keep your head turned. Keep that left shoulder blade drawn down and back, and bring your eyes forward, but not your head. So keep your head turned, and then bring your eyes back. See if you can maybe get a little more rotation in the neck, and then the eyes forward, eyes back, eyes forward, and then eyes bring the head forward. Okay, I think you guys were all doing it. I was doing it, so I couldn't see everyone. So again, eyes, we'll go to the other direction. So we're gonna look over the left shoulder or other shoulder there. So the opposite shoulder needs to stay anchored back and down. Good, eyes really look back. Keep your head turned, and then eyes forward. Good, eyes back. Keep your head turned, eyes forward. Keep your head turned. Good. Eyes back one more time. Good. And then eyes forward, and bring the head around to the front. Nice. So good head and neck. Is that nice for you guys, or does that feel good? Cool.
Okay. Like a lot of pressure in my eyes when I did that.
Yeah, I know the first time that I really did that kind of work, I did, and you're like straining those optical nerves, and the optical nerves are like at the top of our nervous system. They come in and they help feed the whole nervous system. So I've started doing more stuff with the eyes, and so you can play with it on your own. So let's go ahead. And we'll do more of it too. So we're gonna, let's do a little again, make sure our shoulders are back and down. And we're gonna do just right ear to right shoulder. And back up to center. and left ear to left shoulder. So we're going to hang on to all of our Pilates concepts here. Stay tall, right ear to right shoulder. Almost imagine you're like pouring water out of your right ear down and back to center. I like the image of water. Good. Grow tall and drop. Good. And if you're laying down, it's nice to use your arms, but we can do them in sitting too. So let's bring I'm going to mirror you guys. So let's bring the left arm. You guys can bring your left arm up and over to your right ear. And you're going to side bend towards your left ear to shoulder. So then you get a little more. You can reach that right hand towards the floor if you want. And Doreen, you can reach that right hand towards your feet. And then just cock your head and look upwards into the back, towards the back corner of the room. And then we'll look down into, perhaps try to look into your armpit. So you're kind of just getting a little different pull. And then you can release that. We'll do that on the other side. So staying tall, imagine that ponytail still. Bringing your right arm up and over to your left ear. Good, staying tall, pouring the water out of that ear, dropping the opposite arm. Good. And I don't like to hang out in this stretch for a super long time, but just kind of moving into it. And then let's go ahead and look up into over that left shoulder, look upwards into the left-hand corner of the room. So your hand on your head kind of moves around a little, right? And then you're going to look down into the left armpit. So then you get, just changes where that neck stretch is. And then you can release. Awesome. Okay, let's come to center. Feel our center again. Make sure we're nice and tall. And then we're going to just do some little mini, not barely perceptible circles with the end of your nose on the wall in front of you, right? So we're just going to drop the chin a little bit and then move our nose and make just a tiny little circle. And really see if you can feel that circle moving from the very tippy top of your spine where it comes into the skull. And then let's make it a little bigger. Maybe do 3 with a little bigger shape. Just notice if you feel tightness or if it feels blank in certain areas. Let's pause and then do the same thing going the other direction. So tiny circles to start with. Okay, staying tall. Make your circles a little bit bigger. The end of the nose. You got a crown on the end of your nose. You'd be in big trouble. Drawing on the wall. Good. Coming back to center. And nice. So we kind of did like a lot of so those are great things to play with on your own. So I totally encourage that. We're going to do let's go ahead now and bring the arms alongside. So we're going to do a couple little shoulder rolls here again, just to feel the arms, the shoulders on the back, shoulders resting on the rib cage. And so these are your shoulder blades. These are my hands are your shoulder blades, right? So they kind of rest like this. When we inhale, they kind of move, or when we lift our arm kind of up in this way, they move. And then when we exhale, when we bring our arms down, we want them to draw down and together and kind of fan together like that, right? So it's wide across the top of the shoulder, and the bottom of the blade is really squeezing in towards the spine. Okay, is that helpful for me to explain that? Good. Okay, so shoulder blades in that fanned position, and we're going to inhale, just reach up. Imagine we're moving through water again. You're lifting that water up, maybe to the letter Y, and then flip the hands, palms outwards, and then exhale, press the water down. So this is where, Rin, you think about really lifting heavy weight, right? And then exhale, press it down. You guys know, have you guys ever watched a ballet dancer and how they just like move with so much ease, but there's so much muscular action? So exhale, press down, pull belly button to spine, grow the top of the head. Sometimes I think of this movement as you're one of those wine openers that is a winged wine opener, right? So you're pressing down to get the cork out so you can pour that glass of wine. So we're gonna inhale one more time and exhale, press down. Sweet. Let's inhale, bring just one arm up and reach. Reach and touch the sky. Lengthening all through here. Stretch the crown of the head. Reach the fingertips, reach the ceiling, and then exhale, press down. Good, and then the other side. So pressing up, again, lifting like you're lifting heavy water. Reach, touch the sky. Feel everything lengthen. Touch the sky, touch the sky. Touch, 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 and then press down. Shoulder blade down and back. So I want you to feel the shoulder blade moving on the back. Inhale, the shoulder blade kind of moves. Good, exhale, we're gonna press down, press through that imaginary resistance. Inhale. Lengthen through that side, exhale. Okay, this time we're gonna add a little side bend in there. We're gonna inhale and exhale, side bend over so you can lean your elbow onto either your chair back or your hand onto the side of the chair. And then we're gonna exhale, bring you back to sitting tall. So as we do our side bend, imagine that you're sitting in between two panes of glass, right? So we don't want to roll forward. We're going to break the glass. We want to keep the arm and the torso in the same plane and then press down. Okay, this time we're going to come up and over. We're going to stay there for a few breaths. Okay, inhale into the rib cage on the top. Inhale and see if you can expand it wider and bigger. So this create more space between these ribs if you can. And then exhale completely to bring yourself back up. Again, other side. Tall, up and over. Good, inhale into the rib cage here. Expand it. Make those ribs really lift as you inhale and exhale. Bring yourself back. Awesome. This time we're going to take it all the way over. And those of you who can really engage your core, think about lifting, pulling belly button to spine, pulling the waistline up here, like you're lifting up and over something. And then with this top arm, we're going to reach, and then we're going to grab something and pull the elbow into the waist. We're going to reach again, reach a little bit further, and exhale, draw the elbow into the waist. And reach. We're pulling a heavy weight. Squeeze the shoulder blade back, down, and in towards the spine. Let's do two more. Reach and pull it down. And reach and pull it down. And now let's reach up to pull ourselves up to nice tall position again. Good. We're going to bring this left arm, right arm, left arm. Good. And then up and over. So again, those of you who can really work your core, lift this waistline up and over something. And again, if your arm, I'm seeing a couple arms kind of rolled forward like this. See if you can bring the arm back. If you can't keep the arm long, you can just side bend the spine here and have the hand on your waist. It's another option. We're going to reach and pull elbow into the waist. Reach and pull elbow into the waist. And if you're here, you can just stay right here and lift the elbow. Lift and lift and lift and lift. Good. And reach and come back to a nice long and tall position. Good. So it's nice to open up the ribs. It's just more space in there. Okay, let's go ahead and bring our hands to a position where the elbows are at a right angle. And again, if you cannot do this with your own body, you imagine what it is feeling like in your body. Okay, so shoulder blades back and down and together, elbows in at your waist. And imagine you have a tray here. So we want to keep our hands kind of right underneath the tray. We're going to squeeze the elbows and open. I call these door openers, and these are great to do laying on the floor also. So you can push back into the bed and squeeze in to the waist. And you're pulling those shoulder blades back. Imagine you're pulling against some resistance. So what would it feel like if you had a light TheraBand? And control back. Good. Chest nice and lifted, shoulder blades back, down, and together. Okay, we're going to pause and we're going to flip our hands so that the palms are facing each other. Okay, and still at a right angle. So not up here, but right angle. Okay, so we're going to press like we're pressing against resistance. And then we're going to control. We're still pressing against resistance, but we're coming back to center. Good. And we're going to press. Feel the shoulder blades drop back down together. Try and keep them engaged as you bring the arms back. Good. Let's do 3 more here. Open the door. Good. And closing the door. And open the door. Squeezing those shoulder blades. And close. And again, no pain if you have pain in your shoulders, or just make sure that you modify that. Looks like everyone's doing pretty good, those of you I can see. Good. And we'll pause. Now we're going to have our palms down. So almost like we're pressing down onto a tabletop now. Okay, we have some energy there. And we're going to, again, open, squeeze those elbows into the waist. And keep, so notice if your hands tend to want to rotate or twist, really keep them in that position. And close. Squeezing the shoulder blades again, back and down towards the back hip pocket. And we're going to do 3 more here. We're going to open the door and close the door and open the door and close the door. 1 more. Open, I think, and close. Nice. Okay, just kind of shake your arms out for a minute after having them bent. Kind of let gravity take them. And sweet. And then we can go ahead and do some nice wrist circles, some fancy wrist circles. So lead with your index finger and let all your fingers kind of follow around. Really kind of be, again, over exaggerate the small little movement. And of course, the other way. So you can lead with the pinky. And I do these a lot, but when I do them with a lot of mindfulness, I feel the work in my forearm. It's really nice for our fingers to kind of spread apart if we're always gripping a chair. Awesome. Okay, we're going to finish up. Let's bring our hands with, like finishing up with the hands first. I'm going to kind of just adjust the screen so you can see my hands. So let's make sure we really plug those shoulder blades into where they belong, but reach long out the arms. Okay. I'm going to just do a close up of my hand so you guys can see what my hand is doing here. So you're going to reach with both hands, pinky towards the palm as far as you can towards the wrist. Press down as hard as you can, and then drag it, and then reach again. Good. And then the ring finger, reach and press down, drag it and extend. Good. And then the middle finger, reach, press, drag, and extend. You're still keeping those shoulder blades pulled back and down. Index finger, And you can guess the thumb is last. Reach across and extend. So let's do that 3 more times. So pinky, in ring, middle, index, thumb. Really extend those fingers like you're sent. Go ahead and keep going with pinky. I just want to see the people whose hands I can see. Good. Really energize when you extend out. Really give it some energy. And let's do, I'm not sure where you guys are on that. So let's do one more little set. Pinky, ring, middle, index, thumb, and sweet. And kind of shake the arms out again on that. And let's just do a big kind of gratitude, thank you. We're gonna sweep the arms up, clap the hands together if you can, pull the elbows down into palms together. Good. Slide the hands down. Chest is lifted, chest is lifted. Good. Slide the hands up. Good. Chest is lifted as we slide the hands down. Good. Let's just sweep the arms up one more time. Hands together. Good. Flip the palms, pull the elbows down. Good. Into palms together. Good. Just press the palms together. Now keep the chest lifted. Keep the shoulders wide. Keep the collarbones wide. Here. So we don't want to do this, right? I want to stay nice and open. Pressing and release. Sweet. So we'll finish right there. Thank you all